Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold it right there, Fuzzy Britches. Before you hit that dislike button as a PC gamer thinking I just got some bullshit clickbait title, no. The title of this video is a 100% fact, and I'm saying that as a die-hard PC gamer that has been playing Battlefield games for over 10 years on the PC, testing them, all the different versions of the game, and DirectX 12 is the culprit in Battlefield 2042. I said this back in August on the technical playtest. I've been saying it since Battlefield 1, the first time they ever implemented DirectX 12 5 years ago. They have never done it right, and now DirectX 12 is being forced on you. You can't even switch to DirectX 11. It's also a complete shit show on the Xbox, which uses DirectX 12. PS5 does not use DirectX 12. They have their own custom API, which is sort of like a hybrid of a couple different things, and the developers use that. And a lot of people actually thought the PS5 would have issues because of that, because you would think if they had to develop for PC and Xbox on DX12, the PS5 would be harder, or maybe it is harder, but at the end of the day, it runs a bajillion times better on the PS5. It runs at a locked 60, buttery smooth from the second you load in, where that is not the case on PC at all. But first, today's video is brought to you by SuperCDK.com, where you can save money on games for all of your favorite platforms, as well as software like Windows 10 Pro for just $19.50, and then you can unlock the prestigious dark mode on Windows 10 and take advantage of that. I couldn't live without it. And if you shoot over there right now, you could save 25% off. Hit the buy now button and then put in my code JP25 at checkout. I'll walk you guys through the process right now so you can see how much money we're saving and how to go ahead and install this on your Windows 10 PC. That brings our price down to $14.62, total of savings of almost $5 using that JP25 code, which will work for any software products over there. Once you're done with that, go ahead and click on Submit Order and select your payment mode of choice, which me personally is PayPal, and then I'll go ahead and complete the checkout by clicking on Pay Now. After completing the checkout, it'll bring you to your purchased order page, and it will update in a matter of seconds, or just go ahead and hit F5. Go ahead and do that one time. It came through literally immediately. I got the payment email that it had gone through and the delivery of the product exactly at the same time. Once you're done with that, go ahead and click on View Keys and Codes, and we'll get our code right here that we can go ahead and copy and paste in on Windows 10 by hitting the Start button and type in the word Activate. When you see that activation settings or see if Windows is activated, go ahead and click on that, and it'll bring up this right here, and click on change your product key or unlock Windows 10. As I already have Windows 10, I obviously don't need to put in a new key, but just paste it in and then go ahead and click next, and you are all done and set. For more information on SuperCDK.com as well as the coupon code, be sure to check out the links down in the description below. When I first loaded in to Battlefield 2042, I'm not even talking about on the technical playtest. I did play that as well. I tried a buddy's account, even though people gave me a lot of shit on my technical playtest video being a disaster. They thought I didn't play it. I said in the video that I played it, which just proves you how many people actually watch the fucking videos. And that video has currently 305 likes to 786 dislikes because, well, everyone wanted to be a bunch of bootlicking corporate cucks and, tell me that it's only a beta. It's a 2-month-old build. They're going to have it fixed by the time the game comes out. Are they, though? Are they really? As I said at the start, in Battlefield 1, DirectX 12, disaster. In Battlefield 5, DirectX 12, a complete and utter disaster, and it forced you to use that if you wanted to use ray tracing and DLSS, which means I pretty much never used ray tracing and DLSS in that game because DirectX 12 was shit. And if you're going to be in the comments section right now saying, oh, I play on an RTX 2060 at 1440p and the game's running absolutely fine for me, Joker. No, it's not. It is not running fine for you. You just aren't aware of what frame rate issues are. You're probably just not a very hardcore gamer or not very keen to noticing frame rate issues, which this game is riddled with. As you can see, the frame time graph is all over the place. A frame time graph in a perfect world should look as close as possible to a flat line. If you can get a completely flat line in a game, you're talking about a truly optimized title or maybe something that's older and it just runs smooth as silk. This game's frame time graphs looks like a fucking seismograph. It looks like a fucking lie detector test taken by O.J. Simpson. It should not look the way that it does. Switching over to the PS5, the second that I loaded into the game, and usually when you first load in, it's worse than when you're actually playing. Once you load in for a few minutes, It gets a little bit smoother, but you still get hitches here or there, especially when action starts to pick up. And honestly, the frame rates on this game are also fairly low. There's constant frame drops, hitches, lag, all sorts of things and bugs. On the PS5, I didn't experience really any of that. The only bug that I did experience was with the weapon loadouts. I would equip my red dot, and then every time I died and came back in, it would be unequipped, so I would go back to the red dot, but it would equip an ACOG. That was really the only bug that I encountered on the PS5, and I've encountered that on the PC as well. But the frame rate on the console appears to be, and I've watched other videos with actual frame rate tests, and I could feel it playing it. As I said, I've been testing games for over a decade on the PC. I'm very perceptible to seeing frame rate drops and stuff, which is why that one guy with the RTX 2060 saying it runs absolutely fine probably can't notice things as much. But as a PC gamer and a person that tests games on the PC, I'm very perceptible to frame rate drops, and to me, it appeared that the PS5 was running at a complete locked 60. It could have maybe wavered to 59, 58, but you couldn't feel it honestly at all. It just felt super buttery smooth, and if there's someone that wants to say it's my PC, I mean, look at my specs. If you've ever watched any of my videos, I'm playing on an RTX 3080 Ti into 9900K. My specs are not an issue. I know how to optimize and use my PC hardware. I'm not a fucking moron. And there's always these people in the comments. You remember wondering, why are you being so hostile, Joker? It's because I'm so sick of it. I have been saying this shit for years, and people continue to ignore me. And now, here we are with a game that from Battlefield and DICE and Frostbite that forced you to use DirectX 12, and people are finally getting wise to it. People over on Reddit are throwing a fit. I've watched a bunch of YouTube videos, even from known Battlefield creators. I watched one of Jack Fragg's streams, and he wouldn't stop complaining about how bad the frame rate drops were. And people keep on saying, oh, it's a 2-month-old build. It's only a beta. It's going to be fixed by November, 17th, I think, about 5 weeks from now. No, it's not. It's not going to be fixed. Bet me on it. Bet me on it. I'll fucking bet you anything I got that this game is going to run like this when it comes out in November. 100%. And as far as PS5 is concerned, the game was running so smooth that I actually did really, really well on the console. And I would like to let you know that when it comes to aiming with a controller on console, I suck a bag of dicks. A huge bag of dicks. And I don't know what kind of bag of dicks you picture when I say bag of dicks. Do you think it's like a plastic grocery bag and they're just in there kind of sloshing around? Or is it like a big tall paper bag where they're kind of sticking out to and fro like a bunch of baguettes? I'm always curious what people think a bag of dicks looks like in their head when they picture it. Let me know down in the comments below. But yeah, I suck a bag of dicks with aiming with a controller on consoles or anything really. I'll use a controller for platformers, racing games, all that kind of stuff, sports titles, sure. But when it comes to aiming in a first-person shooter, I can't do it. I suck. And in this game, and this was my first and only game that I played on PS5, I went 40-4. 40 kills and 4 deaths. I don't think I've ever even done that on PC, unless I was in a vehicle. I've done that in vehicles, in like the LAVs or in the attack helicopters, because I'm really good in vehicles. But in this particular play, I only had like maybe 2 or 3 kills at the beginning where I just ran people over with a truck. And the rest of it was just me running around on foot, just shooting people in the face. Some kills from like really far out using like SMGs. I had like a 30, like a near, I didn't count it, but it was like 30, it was like maybe just under 30 or maybe even just over 30 kills in a single streak. And I was just running around using regular weapons, pistols, rifles. I had to go through 3 different kits throughout this kill streak, picking up other people's shit off the ground. I went from like an AK to a Chris Vector SMG and finally an LMG. Absolutely fucking raping people in this game. And like I said, I suck so bad using a controller, but shockingly, when a game runs smooth, it's easier to aim. And when I played this on PC, I was doing awful. And yes, it was crossplay. So you're playing with people from PlayStation, Xbox, PC. Everyone's all mingled together. So it's not like I was in some kind of server where I was only playing with some scrub noobs. It even seemed like my progress had actually carried over, because I believe when I loaded in on PS5, I was already like a level 6, because I played a fair amount of it on PC. But yeah, the big takeaway from this is the game just runs so much better on PS5 than PC. And I'm not saying that to entice people to buy it on PS5 over the PC. I mean, maybe you will. I don't know if I might actually, I'm probably going to wait until the game comes out, and I might actually pick it up on PS5, even though I don't really like playing with the controller. If I could play as good as I did today, I probably won't mind it as much, even though I would definitely prefer to play a first-person shooter with mouse and keyboard. I mean, come on, who wouldn't? So much better. And I know you can technically do that on consoles, but it's a little bit of a hassle. You got to run cables across the room and get like a lap keyboard and all that kind of shit. And I can't really be hassled with it. I would just play it with a controller at that point. But it's not that big of a deal to play this game to me. I do want to play the Bad Company 2 maps and stuff like that, like Valparaiso, but not at the cost of having the performance issues that this game has on PC. And I'm trying to calm down here for a minute because I really want to get this point across, because I just want people to understand, because I've been saying this for so long. Frostbite, it just sucks on DirectX 12. They had never done a full-on proper dedicated implementation, and there's some people saying they did that now, although I haven't really seen the evidence of it, especially in the way that the game runs. But Battlefield 1 had DirectX 11 and DirectX 12. I tried DX12. It was really, really bad. Never really played on it after, testing initially. I mean, I tried it a few times here or there, and every time it was really, really bad. The same thing happened on Battlefield 5, and I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but here we are now in 2042, and you have no other option. There is actually a command console line to force DirectX 11, and you can set it in place, but it resets as soon as you restart the game, and you have to obviously restart the game to run it in DirectX 11. And I'm not even sure if the DirectX 11 API is even there in the code somewhere. But my hope is that if that's possible, if DirectX 11 for this game still does exist somewhere, DICE, EA, please make DX11 an option. I'm begging you. I will absolutely buy this game on PC day one if it supports DirectX 11. I will not buy it if it is mandatory to play DirectX 12, and that is outside of the fact that it is restricting who can play this game. I saw a screenshot over on Reddit of a guy that got an error code because he has a 780 Ti. 780 Ti's don't support DirectX 12. They didn't support it until the 900 series. So anything before the 900 series, you got a 770, you got a 680. I mean, the older cards obviously at this point, but a 780 Ti is still a decent card for 1080p. It shouldn't have any issues really running, a Battlefield game at maybe 1080p medium settings. It should probably run okay. But the problem is, if it forces DirectX 12, you just can't play it, period. Time to upgrade your graphics card, and good luck finding one, kid. That's what's going on here with Battlefield 2042. I'm a huge Battlefield fan. I used to run servers for Battlefield. If you made it this far in the video and are listening to me, I cannot encourage you enough to try the beta and see it for yourself and really pay attention to things and stop just being that person in the comments and saying it's running fine for me. I find that really hard to believe, because I'm having this issue and I've had it for 5 years. I have a friend that I've been playing games with for probably close to 13 years. Him and I have had the same DirectX 12 issues in Battlefield titles since its inception. And there's tons of people now online finally talking about it because they're being forced to play DirectX. And they don't know what to blame. I'm not blaming them. They don't know what to blame it on. They're just saying it runs bad, and they think maybe it's just a beta. It's going to get smoothed out by the time the game releases. No, it's not. It's not going to get smoothed out by the time the game releases. If they could have smoothed it out in the Frostbite engine by the time the game releases next month, then they would have done it already. They would have done it in Battlefield 1 when it was issued, or Battlefield 5 when it was issued, but they didn't. It is still broken to this day, and it's not going to be fixed until I don't know what. I don't know what they have to do. I don't even know if they're fucking aware of it. Like, are they fucking retarded or something? Like, how dumb can they be? How can they continue to release games on DirectX 12 in this state? Are they not testing them on PC at all? How can they load in and see the game hitching across the screen with the frame time graph going all over the fucking place? Like I'm having a heart attack or something on a fucking EKG meter or whatever those things are called. PKE meter? Vankman. I don't know what they're doing. But the game is a pile of dog shit. Try it out on the beta. It's open now to everyone on consoles and PC. You don't even need to have the EA Play anymore. There was a 2-day early access. I've been playing it since Wednesday on the PC, and I tried it out on PS5 this morning, and it was just a million times better. Such a better experience all the way around, except for having to play with a controller, which I'm not too fond of, but I ended up doing amazing with it. So, yeah, that's all I've got to say for you guys in this game. I expect a ton of dislikes from a bunch of fucking bootlicking cucks that aren't going to watch the video and actually hear what I have to say, and they're just going to judge it based off a title and think it's clickbait, even though it's the furthest thing from clickbait. This is me being brutally honest and trying to scream from the rooftops and just asking people to please listen to me. I feel like a guy on the day before 9/11 telling everyone there's planes about to crash and people are laughing at me. That's what I feel like. I feel like the guy that knows everything that's about to happen, and you're trying to tell people, and they're just ignoring you. And I'm like, are you people really that daft? Like, I've got the evidence. I've been testing this shit for years, and no one ever listens. Maybe you'll listen now. I hope so. Maybe this video will get a ton of dislikes, and when the game finally comes out and this shit continues, maybe then people will come back to it. But I highly doubt that. But, yeah. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. Let me know your experience down in the comments below on 2042 beta. Otherwise, it could be a great game. It could be a great game, but it has so many performance issues. And this, like I said, this is on the Xbox too. It's having a lot of issues as well. The PS5 seems to be the only version not having these issues. And shocker, it's not using DirectX 12 on the PlayStation 5. I wonder what the issue could be. All right, I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a fantastic weekend. I love you all very much, and I'll talk to you again soon.